some of the things that you need before the first day of class? Let's talk about that. First thing is there are necessities and then there's niceties. If I think about life, in life there are necessities. You absolutely need food, shelter, water. But do we really need that $400,000, $500,000 home, or do we really need that BMW? Possibly not. The $400,000, $500,000 home, that's a nicety, but a home is a necessity. You do need some kind of roof over your head. Same thing goes with web training. There are certain necessities, things you cannot live without when it comes to web trainings, and there's niceties. So let's start off talking about the necessities. Very first and foremost, you need an internet connection. And I want to point out here, dial-up internet is not going to suffice. The dial-up connection would be too slow to be able to have the audio and the video connected. So you do need to have a high-speed internet. At a minimum, you need DSL connection to be able to do this. So that's the very first thing. Next, you'll want the software that you're learning along with the service packs. So if you're learning Revit Architecture 2010, we highly recommend that you have that loaded because we like to make sure you get to see and hear about what you're learning and then you get to try it. And we'll talk more about that when we get into our instructional style. But having the software gives you a chance to practice what you're learning and make sure that it's reinforced. We recommend that you also have all the necessary service packs because when the Autodesk product first ships, Autodesk finds some bugs here and there and they create service packs to fix those bugs. We don't want the bugs in the software to distract from learning the package. So the service pack is absolutely necessity. Having a phone to connect to so that you can hear the instructor. It's great if you can watch what they're doing, but unless you can hear them explain what they're doing, it's not going to work. So we do recommend, or actually more than just recommend, you must have a telephone to be able to connect to the learning that you'll be connected to. The last thing you need is a Webex invite. We only provide training to those students we have invited to training or who have purchased the training. So you do need a Webex invite to be able to get into the meeting. Now let's talk about some of the niceties. The courseware book is definitely a nicety. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Why would a courseware book only be a nicety? Well, our instructors are so skilled at the software that they are teaching that they can teach it with or without a book. I have taught many classes without a book, especially custom classes. That's the biggest one that we teach without books. Most of our public classes, we do have a book because they are pre-canned. You're learning, let's say AutoCAD fundamentals. We've written all of the fundamentals of the AutoCAD into a book, which we will send to you. And that will give you a chance to try some of the exercise from the book. But if it is a custom class, very specific to your company's needs, it may not be cost effective for us to write a book with those custom needs. Therefore, the book is a nicety. The next thing is a nicety is the data sets. The reason I say that the data sets are a nicety is because just like the book, we can get along without them. What I mean is the instructor can actually share the data set they want to use in the class while they're in the class. And I'm going to actually show that to you so that we can see how that works. Next nicety is a second screen to watch the Webex on. Since we won't always have a book available, sometimes it's nice to be able to watch the instructor on one screen and then try what they're doing on a second screen. So if you have the option to have dual monitors, you can have one monitor showing the Webex and the other monitor showing your own software. Or the other option is to have a projector projecting the instructor's screen up on a wall and then having your own monitor to be able to practice the exercises. Last but not least is a hands-free headset. if you can, try your best to find a phone that will allow you to use the hands-free headset or speakerphone so that you can talk with the instructor and still hear everything without having to hold the phone all day. That can be tiresome, especially when you're trying to type and use your hands to do the exercises and still hold the phone to hear everything that's going on.